Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We begin with the latest developments in Ukraine, where the country's general in charge of the counteroffensive against Russia has spoken to the BBC about the challenges they are facing on the front lines. General Alexander Tanisky has revealed that his forces are finding it tough to overcome the well-fortified Russian defenses and make rapid progress. The Russian military has constructed multi-layered minefields and fortified defensive lines that are causing hindrance to the Ukrainian troops, including their use of Western-supplied tanks and armored vehicles. The counteroffensive has now entered its second month, but progress has been slow. The areas currently under Russian control are marked in red on the map, which includes the cities of Donetsk and Mariupol. For an on-ground perspective, our defense correspondent Beal is with the Ukrainian forces in the south. Said, that offensive has been ongoing for nearly 2 months now, with the main focus in the south, where the Ukrainian troops are making efforts to divide and weaken the Russian forces, aiming to reach Crimea. However, it has been a challenging endeavor. When they visited the front lines, they saw Ukrainian forces struggling to break through the well-prepared Russian defenses and heavily mined areas, hidden within forests. Despite having access to recently donated Western armor, such as the U.S.-made Bradley tanks, the Ukrainian forces have faced setbacks due to Russian minefields. Some of the damaged equipment cannot be repaired, leading them to scavenge for parts. The infantry is particularly vulnerable as they have to advance on foot without the support of armored vehicles. They face difficulties in holding ground against the Russian forces, who have been employing new brutal tactics, like remote-controlled mines rigged within empty trenches. In response, Ukraine has been using a new weapon, a U.S.-supplied howitzer, to target Russian infantry positions. However, it's important to note that this weapon is banned by more than 100 countries due to its cluster munitions, which scatter multiple small bombs over a wide area. The Ukrainian general overseeing the counteroffensive defended the use of these weapons, stressing the difficulty of facing a formidable enemy. He highlighted that the enemy may prevent swift advances, but their lack of CONC for their own people might be their weakness. As for the timeline, the Ukrainians are hoping to make significant advances this summer while the weather is favorable. Most Western leaders have pledged support for Ukraine for as long as it takes, but the clock is ticking. The Ukrainians are aware that as winter approaches, the conditions for fighting will become more challenging. In conclusion, the counteroffensive in Ukraine continues to face tough resistance, but efforts are ongoing to make progress on the front lines. The Ukrainian forces are determined, but the road ahead remains uncertain. We will keep a close eye on the developments as the situation unfolds. That's all for the latest updates on the situation in Ukraine. Back to the studio.